Welcome back, guys. This is the Contemplation crew. This is Chris, the editor.
Yo, I'm Eric, one of the speakers.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Ricardo coming at you again.
Welcome back, everyone. It's your good friend, fellow YouTuber, Jacob.
My name is Eric, and I'm just here for a good time.
All right, well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Contemplation crew. We're going to be doing something interesting today. So instead of talking about one big topic, we all brought something interesting to talk about, and we are calling it the Popcorn Podcast. So we're going to have Eric here take it off for our first topic.
Hey, howdy, guys. I'm Eric with an H. I forgot to clarify that in the last episode and in this intro. Or my Popcorn Podcast is Elon Musk. What has he been doing? What's happened recently? And what makes him such a great guy? Citizenship is a little bit of his background. Comes from South Africa, Canada. He's from South Africa, but he has citizenship in Canada and the United States as well. He started up Neuralink program, PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX. Pretty sure most of you guys have heard of that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty common knowledge.
Let's see. I think he's the modern day Iron Man, like the Tony Stark that's portrayed. Like he's this inventor, the little tinker guy, I guess you could say.
The Tony Stark that accuses people of pedophilia.
Yeah, the whole pedophilia tweet that kicked off his I don't know how to say that chairmaning.
It was a small decline in his career.
Yeah, was he from this guy in Thailand? Ended up calling the guy a pedophile or pedo. Did not end well for him. In the coming months, he was elected off the chairman board of Tesla. He agreed to pay a fine. Ridiculous. He had to step down as chairman, not allowed to run for a few more years at all. But he still holds a CEO status.
So, do you know what's the difference between CEO and chairman?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure chairman makes a majority of progressions. They make the final decision as to where the board's guides to.
Okay.
Arrow is just like a member on the board. I don't know, still a boss figure for the company, just a little less significant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the background he's still pulling some strings.
Definitely. I mean, they're doing great things with Tesla. New economical car out, 2019. It's gonna make it a little more affordable for get into a Tesla. Unlike the Tesla that got shot up into space, Roadster that he shot up on the SpaceX rocket.
Yeah, that was the one that's out now, right?
It's in orbit around the sun now. I knew about that one. Past Mars. And
yeah.
So it's making like a full rotation. And somewhere around that span, it's got a hitting Earth, coming back and smacking us in the butt. And then a slightly lower chance of hitting Venus. But, that's in like 1 million years, scientists predict. Don't worry about that anywhere soon.
Well, even still, do you think he decked out the Roadster so that way it won't burn up and, when it enters the atmosphere?
But I'm sure the engine's dense enough.
So wait, it wasn't a special Roadster? It was just like a regular Roadster?
Yeah, it was just a regular road Roadster, Tesla Roadster. Put it up in the car as a meme. So they're traveling, man, together.
Yeah,
for
I remember. Yeah, I remember when I first saw that on the live stream. At first, I thought that was weird, but then it was like, that's an Elon Musk thing to do.
Yeah.
I thought that when I heard news of this, I thought like, no way, that's a lie. That's a lie.
If it were
It's
anyone
like-
else, that's a lie. But it's Elon Musk. It's like, you know.
Throw a
A day in the
perfectly
life.
good $80,000 car out into space, right?
Hmm.
But I guess that's really nothing compared to the millions it would take to get it up there, right?
Yeah, the 80,000 is a drop in the bucket compared to what he spent to get it up there.
Yeah. But I'm sure Starman appreciated it.
Yeah, that's the
They'll be
nickname of the
going-
guy in there, right?
Yeah, the little stunt man in there.
Yeah.
So they'll be traveling around. And in case anyone wants to track it down, you can always go on whereisroadster.com. Exact orbit of where Roadster is right now.
But if like aliens find it, dude,
It'll be like
that's
form
be
is
like, this is
dead.
interesting.
They'll think that mannequin is the definition of a human being. All
Humans are
organs.
Dumb as hell.
Yeah. No brain.
Yeah, this dude just drove off of his planet. What a dumbass.
So, I have a question about what you brought up about, calling someone a pedo in Thailand.
Sure.
Was that during when he saved those people from, he saved the people from the cave that they got trapped in, or?
Yeah, the children's soccer team it was a little bit afterwards.
Oh, okay. So it happened sometime around that time when he was over there?
Well,
Actually,
Elon
he
Musk
never.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never went to Thailand. But
Oh,
what he did is he recommended ideas because divers were asking for ideas on how to get children out of there.
yeah.
Elon Musk sent more than a few ideas out there. This full one, and the only one actually being considered was the little submarine casing thing. It was pretty much a small tube. 2 divers would have to carry it, child at a time. There was I think it was children? Not exactly sure. But it would have taken multiple trips, and with the caves and the murky water, it just seemed like a old task, and they didn't want to make the kids wait all that long. Yeah, I think they used it to give food to the children. Way to drain the tunnel and all that. Anyways, the guy that was called a pedophile was emailing but tweeting back at Elon Musk saying that his ideas were dumb, yada yada yada, nothing of his would ever work. Musk responded calmly at first, and he started saying things like my input, just making my suggestions, and then they got a little more personal, and the insults and pedophile slipped out.
That's when he just called him a pedophile.
Yeah.
Which-
Well, yeah, he literally gave reasoning to why he did it.
Why did he call the Thai man a pedophile?
Well, he wasn't Thai. I think he was British. Actually, he was just
British
working
guy?
there. Yeah, Vernon Unsworth is his name. I think he was British. I don't think he was actually Thai. He was just helping with the effort.
Yeah, so it was a huge disagreement. I think it got blown out of proportion. It was more of a public relations stunt or some company backstabbing thing out of the chairman position.
Yeah.
I'd see it more as like just Elon Musk, like just being Elon Musk and not really controlling himself. He just thought of it as like a witty comeback, and he didn't really think of like the repercussions.
Yeah.
Kind of just like hit him in the end. But honestly, like he's still a billionaire, just a billionaire with a little bit less money.
I've seen everywhere on more than a few articles he said worth it.
Yeah,
I couldn't find the actual tweet as to where he said worth it. Worth it. It's dotted down.
he paid 20 million, right? Like for a settlement, right?
It was
That
either
that
20 or $25 million settlement.
Yeah, it's like that one meme where it's like the one guy is like, "I'm gonna pay you $100 to fuck off." That's essentially what Elon Musk did, except he paid him 20 million.
Bit of a
Well, actually, I think the guy got 45 million from the company because he sued
Oh,
the
yeah?
actual company instead of Elon Musk.
Mm.
Elon Musk was protected by the company partially.
Mm.
That's for
Okay.
20 million.
So Elon Musk paid 20 million out of his pocket directly, and then another like 25 out of the company.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's how that went down.
He essentially paid him $45 million to call him a pedo.
Yeah. How he gets on with his life nowadays, I have no clue. But that's. I could see Elon Musk and Tony Stark doing, the fictional character about consequences.
yeah.
Has his own company, self-proclaimed.
Well, in I don't remember which one. I want to say Iron Man 2. He literally told, or it might have been Iron Man 3, but he told the media outlet, because there's this terrorist who was, threatening his city and everything. He put out his address on like national television, and he says, "Come get me." And then literally like maybe 3 hours later, his house got shot up with missiles and by an attack helicopter. So
Remember that one? But did he die?
no.
And really, I think that's Musk type of thinking as well. Like, $1 billion, sure. Did he lose chairman of board from the Tesla Foundation or Tesla company? Yeah. But did he die? Was it worth it? Well, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think paying $20 million for your freedom of speech is a little outrageous.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the same guy that made the Boring Company. I'm pretty sure I remember he made it because he was like stuck in traffic, and he decided that he wanted to make like an underground road system, like a system of roads that go underground.
Yeah, I saw
And he
that.
and he decided to just make the Boring Company, which were the ones that also made that flamethrower.
Yeah,
Just for like why not?
Yeah.
it's such a funny name too.
Yeah, the Boring Company. And like the Boring Company is like plastered on the flamethrower too, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? Those flamethrowers are still around. I think they made more than a few models. Like, I think they have 3 different ones.
Yeah, I remember seeing them again somewhere along the news. I remember the first time they brought them out, they had a limited stock, but they sold out like practically instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they made more. But I remember that like having some lane like limit where like the fire could only be like 6 feet or something, because like I guess 6 feet of fire isn't dangerous, but 7 is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What point do you draw the line?
Yeah, I think like if you're just gonna let a flamethrower be legal, it's like it's still dangerous.
It's got to be an all or nothing thing. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. We got to have that World War II 30-foot flamethrower.
Yeah, but that was napalm. Napalm's not very nice.
Flame and
Napalm
water.
is quite a nasty thing.
Yeah, it's like sticky fire. I
Perfect
think-
way to describe it.
I think the Boring Company flamethrower is just like something a little bit lesser.
He stuck his hand in a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean I think Elon Musk is a very good businessman. He knows that you need to like diversify. You can't just like stick with one thing if you really truly want to become like big. You can't just like be complacent in one like little company. Like
Oh, yeah.
like he made PayPal, and then PayPal became big. He sold it, and then he started. Did he start Tesla or SpaceX first?
He did Tesla,
Yeah, and then
Neuralink, and then SpaceX.
yeah, and then
You guys are
Boring
forgetting
Company.
about his most important business, American Solar.
Oh yeah, he too, huh?
Well, yeah, I forgot about.
Well, I
that he
forget-
did solar.
Yeah, I forget if it's called American Solar or what it's called, But yeah, he owns a lot of solar panels.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Elon Musk. He seems like he wants to actually do some good in the world. You know, he's a little memey, but I think his heart is somewhere in the right place.
Most definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Eric, since you did a lot of research on Elon Musk, did you find anything about genetically modified cat girls? I heard a meme out there, something about making cat girls real, and something having to do with Elon Musk. Did you read anything about that?
Tweeted Elon Musk. I think it was. Remember when it was actually. They tweeted him. They were like, "Hey, so we have a Tesla in space. Get cat girls." He replied, "Status currently working on it." That was the meme that you're talking about. I don't think he commented anything else on the topic. I think he just said.
Yeah, I know the meme that Eric is talking about. I remember seeing it.
I just found a tweet by him that came out, I think, October 25th by Elon Musk. He was replying to someone. Someone tweeted at him, "Show us your Bowsette cosplay." And he replied to him, "I'm actually cat girl. Here's selfie right now." And he posted like an anime picture of like a cat girl. I'm not sure if this is fake. How can I check if this is fake or not?
I don't know. Eric, can you confirm?
I haven't seen a cat girl picture of Elon Musk.
But
Oh
he
my
has-
God, dude.
Yeah, he has acknowledged cat girls in the past, all right?
No, that tweet that I just read off is real. I'm checking his Twitter and it's in his media, like his photos that he submitted.
Can we get Elon Musk as president for like 2020?
And if Elon Musk ran for president in 2020,
He'd get it.
he would
Isn't
get it.
Kanye also running? Or at least I know he said a little while ago.
He said it in 2016 that he'd be running for 2020, but
Yeah.
now he announced his resignation from politics.
Oh yeah, and that'd be a shame, dude. I want 2020 to be like the memeiest election, dude. Just I remember like I think I heard The Rock was gonna run as well, so that'd be a nice race, dude.
I'm looking
Elon
forward
Musk
to
versus
Kanye
Kanye
as well. Yeah.
versus The Rock, dude.
Either way, Elon Musk would take it.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, but anyone that if anyone of three of them were president, it'd be an interesting 4 years.
I wonder how we would handle the fire situation. The fire situation in California right now.
Probably some convoluted, over-engineered solution.
A 100-foot tall fire extinguisher.
Yeah, or maybe he could genetically engineer the cat girls and then make like an entire firefighting force out of the cat girls. So we'd be saved by the cat girls. They'd just be firefighters.
You know what? I think the people fighting the fire would take every bit of help they can get right now.
Yeah.
I think they got like
Cat girl
5,000
or
people
not.
fighting it. Well, bikini or not, here they come.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fire's going on in California right now. Burning something like 83,000 acres already. Probably more by now. I checked that a few hours ago. Yeah, it started at 3 different fires, and then it just kept spreading. Down more than 27,000 people's homes. Town off the map, pretty much, and it's pretty devastating. But Elon Musk offered assistance there as well.
That's pretty
to send
typical.
the Teslas, the self-driving Teslas, into the fire to help rescue people. Because the air filters are military grade air filters. Yeah. Elon Musk sent these cars out, grabbed a few people at a time, and the air filters kept them safe. And I think that was a great thing to do. Great call on his part.
Wait, this already happened, or he?
Yeah. He's already sent cars
Oh well, that's a very Elon Musk thing to do.
So the cars were able to guide all these people out to safety.
Really, Jesus.
How many people were saved? I couldn't find a number, but more than a handful of Teslas.
I would give my house to a fire just to ride in a Tesla.
That's a pretty low,
Yeah.
low standard you have.
I really want to drive.
Anyways, I think I way overstayed my time here. So our next segment.
All right. So the next segment is going to be done by yours truly. And
I
Ricardo.
just went.
yeah, Ricardo. What?
I said I just went.
No, it's gonna be done by me, okay? All right. I'm confused, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm doing the next segment, and the next segment is, pause for dramatic effect. Are traps gay?
No.
So, thanks.
Sorry, continue.
Hey, any input is appreciated. So, well, first to answer this question, we need to talk about another topic that I have. So, I believe that gayness, or just gay in general, is on the spectrum. And I know when people say spectrum, they're like, gender and autism. But no, like I'm saying, there's a complete spectrum of gayness. And if you guys would take a look in the Discord, I did this this drawing of like the spectrum of gayness. So so I believe that there's like 0% gay and then 100% gay, and then there's a section in the middle that's 50% gay. And I feel that if you fall over that 50% threshold, you can be legally called gay.
Can
And the person will be right.
Sorry, can you explain the unpassable traps and passable traps?
I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Well, before that, can you explain to the audience who may not know, who may be older or too naive?
Yeah.
But what are traps?
Yeah,
what are traps?
Thanks for that. So a trap is, so there's a difference between a transgender or a shimo, whatever you want to call it, and a trap. So a trap is just basically a guy that dresses up like a girl. That's essentially pretty much all that a trap is.
Is there a difference between a drag queen and a trap?
Not. I guess in essence they're pretty much the same thing, but a trap would be more feminine. Like a trap is trying to pass like a girl. Like if you see a drag queen, you can pretty much immediately tell that it's a drag queen, But a trap is intentionally trying to fool you.
Oh.
So that's the difference between the trap is intentionally trying to fool you. A drag queen, you can pretty much instantly tell that it's a drag queen. And like a transgender and a shemale is actually someone that wants to be the other gender. So that's a good way to differentiate the three. So,
okay.
Anyways, back to the spectrum of gayness. I think most guys are within like this 20 to like 30% gayness. I feel that pretty much every guy has some percentage of gayness in their body, because I'm pretty sure we've all seen a dude and we thought to ourselves like, yo, that guy looks pretty good,
Well, what about?
Yeah.
Of course, you have Erich, but what about homophobes? The ones who utterly, are in disgust and denial, like all the way through, of not wanting to even admit that another man is appealing in any kind of way.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Most average guys are within like this 20 to 30, right? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't consider me and you average, but I'd say someone like I mean, they won't know, but someone
Chris,
like
our editor.
Yeah, Chris, our editor. I'm pretty sure he's at some point like 20 to 30% gay, and you, Erich, you're probably somewhere up in like the 80 to 90%. But most guys are within like this 20, like this 20 to 30% where sometimes they'll see a pretty handsome guy and they'll be like, hey, that guy's pretty handsome. They'll watch porn with a guy and a girl, stuff like that. But there is people that are pretty out there, but they still have some level of gayness. Like they've touched their own stuff. That's pretty gay. They've thought of a penis before.
Hold on, wait.
Gay.
You can't just weasel your way into that one. You can't just say it's gay.
No, I'm not saying. I mean,
basically, if you have a attached to you, you're gay.
No. You have to physically touch it with your hand. But it's such a low amount. I say like it's like 5% gay. Like not anywhere close to for you to be worried about. Like, yo, am I gay? It's like, nah, dog, you're fine. You're not gay, okay?
All right, so we're still in the dark green here.
Yeah, we're still in the dark green. But now if you like give another guy a hand job, we're I think we're over the 50% mark.
All right, hold on, wait. What happened to bros helping bros though?
I mean, you can label it as that, but it's still an act that's over the 50% threshold. But I also believe in the don't knock it till you try it concept. So I say that everyone gets one free of everything. So you can suck one, you can give one to another guy, right? You can't knock it till you try it. Like you never know. So I'm saying don't knock it till you try it. So that's my.
How do you pitch the don't knock it till you try it to the homophobes?
Just at the end of the act, say no homo, and it immediately goes down to 0% on the spectrum.
For a homophobe, like they're just scared. So like here's some unpopular opinions. A homophobe is just scared of their own sexuality. They don't know whether it's a yes or a no, dude. And people who say they're bisexual, they're just too shy to call themselves gay. All right, those are my unpopular opinions on that. So just keep that in mind. Don't knock it till you try it. So let me go into the actual trap section. So like, let's just start with the basics. So like, if you get fooled by like a pretty good looking trap, like let me give you some photographic evidence.
Try to keep it appropriate.
Yeah,
as much as possible.
It's all safe for work images, of course. I want to keep this channel family friendly. Like, I mean, this doesn't apply to you, Erich, but like me and you, like if you get fooled by someone like this, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you got dude. You got bamboozled, right? You guys see the image, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you would admit that this person looks fairly attractive, right?
Well, I go into this knowing, knowing it's a male.
But if you were to see this, like if you were to see someone like this in public, you wouldn't be like, that's a guy, right?
I might, because I pay attention to this stuff like that. Their chin.
He's a pro at identifying.
Their chin is very square and very strong. I'm not saying that this man isn't attractive. I'm saying what they're doing is attractive, but I could tell.
So you're just saying
I guess
he's an
you're
ugly
right.
woman?
Huh?
All right, so
You're just saying he's an ugly woman?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I posted another one, and this one has a more pointed jawline, since you have this weird, like.
Dang, that one's really hard to tell.
Yeah. So like, if you get tricked by someone that looks like this, you're not gay. Like, chill. It's okay. You got bamboozled, dude. They're it's not that you're bad, it's that they're good, okay? You can admit that. But so, the point that actually matters is, like, if you have intercourse with them, is it gay? I'm gonna say no, but it's very close.
But so you're saying intercourse as in she takes off her clothes and you see the male genitalia,
yes,
and
so
you go on with it?
Yeah, like the scenario is like you got tricked, right? Like you don't know yet, and the way you find out is that you take it into the bedroom, then they take the pants off, and then bam, she's got a wee wee. And then you gotta ask yourself, do I want to go through with this? Will I be gay? There's a couple of things you gotta take into account. One, are you gonna take it or are you gonna give it? If you're gonna take it, you're gay. All right.
What if it's your free pass though? If it's your free pass.
Well,
yeah,
obviously, we're getting this out of the way, right? Like I said, don't knock it till you try it. But I mean, so if you take any phallic object in your butt, you're gay. All right. Like I said, you get the one try for free, right? But after that, if you do it again on purpose, you're gay. There's no in between. I'm sorry, dog. All right. But if you're just giving it, you're not gay. I also believe that you can have intercourse with another guy as long as you're giving it entirely and not taking anything. You're also straight. But that's a topic for another day.
Hold up.
So
this one
Yeah.
doesn't stem right at all.
No, it's a topic. Look, it's a topic for another day. Yeah, Jacob.
So taking it is gayer than giving it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you get something.
okay.
You
That
get something.
makes-
Like you get penetrated.
Like that
Right.
that makes no sense. It's still both sexual acts, like whether you're being penetrated or penetrating the male. It's still gay equally.
Plus, not only that, but if a man is raped by another man, does that make the victim gay?
Stop.
Well, no,
I see where you're headed, but
No,
hold on,
because I
chill.
said I cleared the bases. You guys weren't listening. I said it's got to be willingly. If you willingly take it, you're gay. That's not willingly.
What about willingly
Yeah.
penetrating?
That's not gay. Because putting something inside of something is less bad than taking something. Like, what would you rather do? Would you rather stab or get stabbed?
This goes
Like-
back to our very first conversation and
That- yeah,
made us
but-
Yeah,
start
hold on.
this whole podcast.
Yeah, but they don't know about that. I'm just saying. What would you rather do? Get stabbed or stabbed?
I personally like to get poked every now and then.
No, I'm saying like with an actual knife.
I mean,
Unless you're into that kind of thing, you got like that weird blood fetish, that blood play. But I'm just hey, it's just an honest question. Would you rather get stabbed by an actual knife or stab someone?
I don't see how this relates too much.
I'm just saying.
yeah.
No, like I'm trying to equate it. It's better to put something inside of something than to have something put inside of you.
But it's both pleasure. I mean, a knife, that's pain. Obviously,
Yeah, but
obviously
I'm just-
I would avoid pain, but they're both pleasure.
I'm just
And
talking
plus-
about the core concept. It's
Plus,
better to put something inside of someone else than have it put inside of you.
there are men out there who enjoy receiving from their female significant others who are wearing something to assist them in that.
Yeah, and that's
Like-
borderline gay.
But by your standards or by your statements, that should be full on gay.
No, because you're taking it from another man.
The girl with the strap on is more on the straight side.
It's more on the straight side because it is a girl.
Well, the consistency is there. I'll go with it.
Yes. So, I completely lost my train of thought.
Yo, this episode is gonna get age restricted.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it family friendly. I haven't said anything that bad, but so okay, yeah. So if you take anything from a trap, you are gay. But if you give it, you're not. So let's say you just entirely hit it from the back. All right, I can't say you're gay as long as the trap is passable. All right. So I should get into the topic of passable and unpassable. Have you guys ever heard of a YouTube channel called ContraPoints?
No.
No.
Okay, so ContraPoints was made by this guy. I think his name was Natalie Wynn. I don't think that was his name before, but he's essentially I guess right now he would be like almost a trap. But he used to do videos where he was a guy, and he would talk about political things, but that's not the point right now. The point is that in his older videos, he's very clearly a guy, but he would dress as a girl, right? And then as his career in YouTube went on, he became more and more feminine like. So I'm just saying, like, it's a good test. Like, if you get turned on by like old ContraPoints, you're gay. If you get turned on by like somewhere in the middle ContraPoints, you are it's a little bit more questionable. You could lean either side. But like if you get turned on by like the current ContraPoints right now, I can't say that you're gay. Because the way ContraPoints looks like at this moment is very passable
Well,
being an actual girl.
Well, I mean, I imagine people go into ContraPoint's channel knowing he's a guy, you know?
Mm-mm. When I first found ContraPoints, I did not know that it was a guy.
Oh. Okay, well then that's a different story. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Spoilers.
I like there was some suspicion because you can clearly tell by the voice that something's up, but just looking at ContraPoints, you can't necessarily tell that it's 100% a guy. But once you start going into the older videos, it's very obvious that it was a guy.
You say was. Are they transgender now, or are they just like
they-
dressed up and like took hormone pills?
They still have
Their guy bits.
yeah, they're getting treatment. ContraPoint still has the guy bits, but he does. Well, I guess she at this point she does say that she wants to get a surgery done. But at this point, I would still consider ContraPoints a trap because it's still like a guy dressed up as a girl.
Well, okay. So a trap is them trying to convince you that they're female, right?
And ContraPoints is trying to convince you that he's a female.
All right. Well, then are femboys gay or not gay? Because they're essentially traps, except. Well, I don't know the difference between like femboys.
I would put like femboys and sissies and all that under the umbrellas of traps.
Oh, okay. So traps are like a main like genre, and then there's a
an
bunch of
umbrella
subclasses.
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
umbrella.
Okay.
term.
So basically, the definition of a trap is a male trying to convince you that he's a female.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like very, very broad. It's a guy that's dressed like a girl. But like the way to differentiate between like a drag and a trap is more like that the trap is trying to convince you.
Okay.
It's like
One last question on this sort of tangent. Are transsexual, or people, not transsexuals, but people who've went through the transition, who are trans, they've had surgery, would they be considered not gay because they're trying to convince you that they're female and like they have no indicators that they're male afterwards, besides like hints you could possibly pick up?
I mean, the whole problem with the trap and all that is that they have a penis.
Yeah.
Correct. So if a transsexual, like they got surgery and they got it removed and all that, and they have one of those, I don't know what you call it, but they have female looking parts, then no,
Yeah.
it's definitely not gay.
Oh, okay.
We
So what'd you say, Eric?
calling it the reverse. We.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the logistics behind that, but I know that something like that happens. But yeah, that's definitely not gay. So yeah, that's essentially I think all I got. Just traps aren't gay as long as they're passable and you don't take anything and you just give.
Hmm.
But
Okay, so hold on.
yeah.
If you've already engaged in intercourse, and you go for the good old reach around.
Yeah, I was about to talk about that.
All right.
So now, if we give the reach around, now we're getting dangerously close.
Okay,
What do you mean
hold on.
dangerously?
You just earlier before you did say that we off.
Yes.
Gay.
If you give a hand job to another guy, it's gay, right?
That's what a reach around is
Yes,
it not?
but there's a very clear difference that this guy is trying very hard to be a girl, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't make their like feminine.
Yeah, it's still a, it's
They
still a
can't-
dick there.
Yeah, it's still phallic. It's
I know,
still
but it's in the context of the situation. Like
no.
like all right, if the trap hits you with like hey, do you mind, like could you give me a little reach around? It'd really help me out. I'm gonna say you can give the reach around because you're just being a nice guy. All right.
So-
I'm saying if you do that, you're at like a 49.9999%. All right, but you're not gay yet. But if you do it in your own free will, like you're just like caught in the moment and you do the reach around by yourself, you're gay.
Okay, so bottom line basis of everything, the bottom line is basically if you're attracted to a person for the feminine qualities and in no way attracted to the male qualities, then it's not gay. But if you're attracted to the male qualities of a person, then that's gay.
Yes, that's pretty much what it all boils down to. If you fall for the feminine side of a trap, I can't on a goodwill call you gay. But if you're attracted to the more masculine sides, I'm unfortunately I'm sorry to tell you that this may be a stepping stone onto bigger and better things. And you know what? I think at this point it's just better to accept it. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying traps are not gay in context.
In context.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. Said it from the beginning. I knew it.
Wow. You're gonna have a lot of people fighting you on that argument, but
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna
good premise.
disagree.
it's
Oh.
you put up a fight.
Yeah.
Do you want to weigh in here? Do you want to agree to disagree? Traps gay or not gay?
I agree traps are not gay, but I disagree with so many of Ricardo's points on why they're not gay. But that's just my 2 cents.
All right. Well,
So we got one definite agree, one definite disagree. What about you, Eric?
I'm on the fence, man. I don't know.
Hmm.
I say to whoever is listening, if you want to be gay, sure, call yourself gay. If you don't want to be gay, then sure, that's fine by me. Like it's none of my concern what people want to label themselves as. But if you want a guideline, sure, you could use this. But this isn't the end all be all argument on the subject matter.
Such a white knight response. No, I'm just
Yeah. What a
such a
cut thing to
neutral
say.
response.
Yeah.
That's why I said I was on the fence.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I wanna throw this in. There's nothing wrong with being gay. By the way, my best friend
Yeah.
is gay.
Yo,
Don't be afraid of your sexuality.
Yeah.
like we all support Jacob here.
Thank you, everyone. Just coming out.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you got it. Like, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but you also have to know when you're there.
Yes.
And if you're on the fence about traps, there you go. That's this is basically law. What I said right here. Okay.
All right. Well, agree to disagree, but
Yeah. So I'm done for my topic. Hopefully I've changed some minds out there.
That was a very fun 23 minutes from Ricardo. All right.
You're welcome.
On to the next subject.
love
But
it.
before we move on to this next subject, because it's such a serious topic, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little YouTube plug-in. So, in case you guys haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and push that red subscribe button down below and go ahead and click that notification button, because we do weekly podcasts for an hour or longer every week. If you would subscribe to us, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. I will be talking about a very serious subject known as the Thousand Oaks bar shooting. First off, the shooting took place on Wednesday, November 7th at 11:20 p.m. at the Borderline Bar and Grill located in Thousand Oaks. A total of 12 people were killed. The victims include 22-year-old Cody Kaufman, 18-year-old Elena Housley, 23-year-old Justin Meek, Marine Sergeant Daniel Manrique, 21-year-old Noel Sparks, 21-year-old Jake Dunham, bouncer Sean Adler, 21-year-old Blake Dingman, friend of Jake Dunham, by the way, bar employee Christina Morizzetti, sorry if I mispronounced that, U.S. Navy and bouncer Telemakis Orfanos, 20-year-old Marky Meza Jr., and lastly, first responder Officer Ron Helis. Okay, I would like to give my condolences to all the victims and their families for having to go through this unfathomable, tragic event. I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a family member, and I hope you guys can be able to get through this. Alright, the shooter's name was Ian David Long, a 28-year-old heavily tattooed white male, and former Marine, in fact. He was armed with a smoke grenade and a .45 caliber Glock handgun, which was purchased legally. And Long was in the military when he was deployed in Afghanistan, in which he was honorably discharged from in 2013. And actually in that same year he went through a divorce. After he was discharged, Long was treated for PTSD after deputies were responding to a call for a family disturbance. And mental health specialists talked to Long that very day and cleared him of his PTSDs. Ugh. So basically, in a nutshell, this whole shooting could have easily been avoided if the specialists were more attentive or just didn't clear him to be able to purchase a weapon, because clearly he was very unstable.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's a very serious subject.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start pulling at it, but
Did you hear that the sheriff that was killed was 1 year away from retiring?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a 29-year veteran of the sheriff's county.
That was very unfortunate.
Yeah. This one's a little harder to talk about because of the seriousness of the topic. So bear with us.
It's this one sucks 'cause it's just like there's really nothing you can point it on. It's just like a bad situation all around. Like there's some shootings where it's like, well, the guy was just a bad guy, you know, he was like he hated Jews, he's pretty evil. But like this guy, the shooter, he would have had my sympathy. Like if I heard his story, he would have had my sympathies beforehand, right? But you know, you kind of lose all that when you commit something like that. But it's just like a hard situation because there's really no one to blame. Like you can't put the blame all on one thing because there's just so much wrong, right? Like this could have been avoided. Like there was many things that could have happened differently beforehand that could have changed this from happening. So it's just a very tragic situation.
Yeah. And actually, while he was in the shooting, he actually posted on Instagram or Twitter or social media or whatever that he had no reason for doing it. He literally just said life is boring, and he said why not just commit a shooting. Like what a serious piece of work he is, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a pretty move.
Yeah.
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 I haven't heard that before. Then I kind of take it back. Then
Yeah.
that guy is kind of a piece. Like I said, he would have had my sympathies before, with everything he went through. He would have gotten the typical like thank you for your service, and all that. But now it's just like
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. He did
No,
seem like that person, but I'm pretty sure there is still something wrong with him.
I'm sure mental illness took a big part of that, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's one of those stories.
yeah, considering that tweet, he seemed to be very much aware of what he was doing, so
Yeah,
that just makes him a big asshole for that.
yeah. I think that's just. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, what can we do? Because for this one, there's just not one simple solution.
Yeah,
It's
I have a suggestion of what we can do. Like,
Yeah.
instead of adding like more background checks or whatever, but we can actually implement a whole new system in the background check to where, like, if you have any history of mental health issues, you should need to have the approval for buying weapons from a mental health specialist. Like, if you have PTSD, then if someone wants to buy a gun, the gun store owner can contact a mental health specialist and get that clearing from them. Because
if it does show up on file, you can't buy one, right?
Oh, well, I don't.
I'm pretty sure.
In that case, I don't know
I'm pretty
what-
sure you have to be in some body and mind. It could have, like I said at the beginning, I think it could have been a pre-existing.
But they just didn't go to protocol. They didn't put it on his record. Wow.
I mean, that's the thing though. It's like he was in the service, bought the gun through the service, like a more slack. That's probably how he got it. And then when he was discharged, no one really thought twice about it.
Oh, I thought he bought the gun like after he was diagnosed with PTSD.
Well, I have no
does
clue.
anyone know? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the question. Like, there's also I'm pretty sure this is true, right? But he had like a charge of domestic abuse filed against him, right, by his mother.
By his mother?
Something.
Yeah, I remember hearing in the news that he got in trouble with the police because the police were called on him for domestic abuse, and I'm pretty sure it was like his mom called him. But yeah, I don't know if I just made that up or someone
If
informed me on that one.
if it's true, imagine the type of person that would go after his own mother.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
guess it just depends on the time the firearm was bought. I guess if it was bought while he was in the military, then I guess I can understand that there wasn't much
Right.
he could do. But if it was bought after he was diagnosed with PTSD, then that's just unacceptable, really.
I love the fact that you open this up preemptively, having sort of a suggestion to try to fix things. In our last podcast, when we were talking about something similar, I was thinking that we should probably give our inputs on, instead of discussing the problems, try coming up with solutions. So I'm thinking maybe I could try to throw something out there. I was going to suggest that maybe, and I know a lot of people are like, no invasion of privacy and stuff like that, but maybe have a system in place like on guns that's like mandatory by people who manufacture guns to have like maybe a GPS system or something like that. And whenever someone has to move houses, they have to update their, the gun store or wherever of where they're moving to next and everything like that. So that way they'll allow that person to take their gun out. Maybe have a system in place where they can, like, I don't know. See, that's tricky. Like maybe send a text or something or an app, because that would be very intuitive, but to send updates about what they're going to be doing. So that way, if a gun leaves their property, instead of it just being a security measure at their house, like people will know that their gun's being taken outside of their house. Why is their gun being taken outside of their house?
So basically, like, have a tracking device on the gun.
Yeah, so that way, if someone claims that this gun's only going to be for, security reasons, if it leaves the house, they'll get like a call or something asking them, "Hey, we've just been notified that your gun's left your house." Not only would it be security for others, it'd be security for that person's gun as well.
Sounds like a good idea.
I mean,
very interesting idea.
people got to take their weapon out to a gun range and put the practice into it.
Yeah, I know, which is why about the whole app and updating texting thing, like they would let them know ahead of time what their intentions were with their gun,
Yeah, and then they
like
could, track them down to the gun range.
Yeah, and they could follow them or not follow them, but just make sure that they're heading there, like they say they are, and don't make any like, hey, you said you were going to the shooting range. Why are you heading this way and everything like that? I don't know. It obviously it's going to be very complicated. Where who's going to be paying for these jobs to watch thousands of gun owners and a lot of people might say it comes out of tax dollars, and that's just going to be even worse. Not only that, but open carry is going to be a big issue, because open carry, you don't need a reason to be taking it anywhere. You're just carrying it with you for safety. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a good system, but I mean, I don't think it would really lower the shootings per se, because all it would really do is just shorten like police response times to shootings,
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like I was reading a little bit, and it looks like this guy. It looked like he had pre-owned the Glock, but it was there was a lot of signs, that showed that he had issues, and I'm pretty sure something could have been done to get the gun taken away from him, but the problem was that nothing was done.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily a problem with the system. I think it's just a problem with the people involved. I don't think anyone had the foresight to take his gun away. Because I'm pretty sure, because it seems like he got the gun before any of the problems started to arise, and it's just like no one thought about taking it.
Yes.
So with today being Veterans Day, don't pay enough attention to our veterans.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely not enough is what we should. Your project now, which is great. It's been up and going, helping out like a bunch of people. People with PTSD are too macho man to admit they have PTSD. They don't want to believe they have a problem.
I believe
The nation's shield. So.
Yeah. I believe another reason they would keep it is to like be able to be eligible for more jobs, because if they disclose they have PTSD to a certain job they want, they could probably lose eligibility for that job.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is another problem that's just like, it's a problem because just people are just, I'm not going to say people are bad, but we're just not good enough to handle like veterans and their issues. Like we just don't care enough. Like I'm pretty sure if this guy got, I don't know, better treatment, because he was a veteran, maybe
Yeah,
this
the
wouldn't have
attention he
happened.
deserved.
Yeah, this wouldn't have happened. Because it looks like, I don't like, maybe unpopular opinion, but I don't think there's necessarily that much of an issue with the system that we have now with the gun. I just don't think that anyone cared enough to care about him, It's like,
Yeah.
he's a veteran, like whatever, dude. No one thought that like, hey man, this guy probably saw some stuff. He's probably not 100% okay. Maybe we should get him some help. Yeah, I feel like that's another thing. I feel like we just like when we see someone with mental health, we don't like the first instinct is like let's help him. Is like get me away from this man right now. So that's probably an issue.
Yeah. Similar to last week.
Yeah.
We were talking about school shootings. People should get help.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we maybe an unpopular opinion as well, but I think this generation is done. Like our generation, there's no helping us at this point. I think we're doomed to keep repeating this whole cycle of just shooting, thoughts and prayers, and all that. But I definitely think if we try, we can definitely help the next generation be a little more thoughtful in this kind of thing and help like lower the shootings and all that based on like a human element, not like all these laws and regulations. It's just like if people are nice to each other, other people are going to be nice to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's always that. That isn't going to stop everything. There are just bad people out there. There's nothing that can really stop them. But pretty sure this probably was avoidable.
I mean, really, I'd say a good 98% of shootings are avoidable.
Yeah, definitely. It's just all around bad situation.
It's a very serious
difficult topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to discuss problems without coming out like sounding like an asshole.
Yeah. No, I mean, not to sound like an asshole, but I jump to the next one.
None taken.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, you're next.
Okay. So my topic is going to be on something called juvenoia. Now, juvenoia sounds bad, like it's some kind of disease or issue. But really, it's the belief or mindset that today's youth is worse than before, and essentially older people being biased in favoring their youth as superior to that of the youth of today. So they could say things like, oh, this is what you watch for TV. Well, when I was growing up, TV used to be like this and it was so much better, blah, blah, blah. In the good old days, we didn't sit in front of the TV all the time. We went outside and played with sticks I'm pretty sure everyone's heard a case of this somewhere, whether it may be like from a movie, from TV, or if you actually had some old timers around you who've had said things like that that in the past. But it typically turns out that a lot of the youth of most generations turns out like basically the same as older youths or older generations before them. Like there isn't an increase of crime when it comes to adolescence throughout generations. There's never been really a generation where a youth crime rate just spiked and said like, oh, that generation right there, their youth was corrupt. There was never really a case of that. And so juvenoia, it kind of sounds like paranoia, and it's almost kind of like that. It's being paranoid of the youth and such. Do you guys think that maybe one day that any of you might be criticizing the youth? I mean, I know that I've obviously hated on Fortnite and it being dumb, but there's people still in my generation that enjoy it a lot.
I mean, I'm guilty of like saying '90s kids are better than the generation now. Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, I'm guilty in many ways too. I mean, I've seen memes where they're like, I'm so glad I grew up doing this instead of this. And it was like Minecraft versus Fortnite. I laugh at first thinking it's just a meme, but then I'm starting to think like, do people actually think this? Do people actually think that their youth was somehow superior to others? I am guilty of thinking that sometimes. Like if I'm watching Cartoon Network, I'm just like, this is what passed for good cartoons nowadays. Man, I remember when I was a kid and blah, blah, blah. And like, I definitely critique a lot of things that happen in today's youth. But I'm gonna drop some facts on you guys. Millennials, or mainly these newer generations that are coming out, are the most statistically are the most xeno-tolerant. Xeno meaning just like tolerant and accepting of diversified people, such as like race, gender, and belief. And bullying has been at an all-time low for schools, which is like one of the most craziest things, because I was thinking about that in our last podcast when we were talking about the school shooters. Like, if supposedly, bullying has went down in recent years, we still have so many cases of people being bullied and shooting up schools. So it can't just be a coincidence that these very few kids who are getting bullied are just deciding to do something about it. Like, maybe that's just fake news that bullying has gone down, because as I said, most generations are alike to each other. So maybe bullying hasn't been going down as much as people have said. But it has been on record saying that this millennials and these new generations have been the most accepting. And honestly, it's not just like, oh, praise millennials, in times of segregation, once the U.S. finally got out of that generation that fully got to live in the times of, hey, you know what, no more racism, or racism is viewed upon as, hey, that's not a common thing. Hey, being racist, that's not cool anymore. Hey, being racist, that's not good. You can't do that, and stuff like that. That generation was viewed as the most accepting. So maybe, this generation isn't like the holy grail or anything like that, or even close. It's just this generation is going through the times of what's going on today with so many things. Maybe starting out with Obama's gay marriage rights being pushed out there more, and a bunch more movements being brought to the media and overall to the youth's eyes. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is there anything that you guys criticize about the youth, and what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I want to say, like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think I'm pretty sure I'm guilty about criticizing the youth. If anything, I've criticized Fortnite, but I'm pretty sure it's a meme. Fortnite's okay. I have my own reasons on why I dislike Fortnite, but it's not relevant to like the kids. Like, yeah, I think it's funny, but I think about it and I'm like, we were all like that. Like, I remember when I was younger, like, I like legit, like, I non-ironically liked Minecraft, and I wanted to get a creeper sweater. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I would have bullied a kid that was wearing a creeper sweater. So I can't really fault anyone for having their own likes. Like, I've always thought, like, every generation is similar and they have their own unique issues that they deal with. But in the end, we're all pretty much the same. We all faced some sort of similar issues. Like, I mean, depends how far we go back. Like, I'm pretty sure if we go way back, kids were working in factories, dying, and then just being replaced with some kid off the street. So we're living better than them, right? I don't think they would ever say back in my day. They'd be more like, thank God things are better for you. But like our last generation, like our parents, we're very similar to them in some ways. And in some ways we're better off, but that's how it should always be. The next generation should be better than the last in some way. Yeah. Or else I think if it isn't, we failed. Like, everyone collectively failed as a parent if your generation isn't better in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a time when I was like 19 or 20 years old, or actually 19, yeah. There was actually an old lady. I'm pretty sure she was part of the baby boomers.
Baby boomers? Yeah.
She asked me, how old are you? I said 19. I was like, and she said, back when our generation was 19, we would already be married with family, working. And I said to her, well, sounds like our generation's doing much better, because we're not just putting our thingies in whatever we see. You know, we're actually getting to know the person, and we're being smarter. We're not raising the population tenfold and whatnot.
Get Shrek, old lady, Ben Shapiro style.
Yeah, this is shorter with logic and reasoning, dude. Yeah, that's. I think that's dumb when they're like, "Oh, back in my day, we used to be married." I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I remember these statistics correctly, but I'm pretty sure the divorce rate has gone down. I think that's like another thing that millennials have brought down is like the overall divorce rate, and it's something like that because like people aren't getting married as soon, right? They're spending more time with each other, so marriages that do go through end up being better, and then some people just straight up don't get married anymore. So the divorce rate has, I think, overall gone down in some way. So yeah, that's I don't think that's a valid. Well, I always thought, like I said this before, but like the back in my day is just like a fallacy. You know, when someone starts an argument with like back in my day, they're already wrong.
Could I argue that money has something to do with the marriage rates going down? If it's not as expensive back then as it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's many reasons why. I remember reading an article. I'll look it up later so we can get some proof. But there was many reasons, and I'm pretty sure money was on there as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I guess partially. I don't know what the adjective term of juvenoia is, but I've criticized things like mumble rapping. But honestly, people would look at our music and say that it was dumb. Like if you try to remember music back in, I guess like 2008, 2010, like when you're still younger and you liked all the pop songs on the radio, like Party Rockers and stuff. I remember growing up with that in middle school, and I thought it was a really cool song. And I remember I was trying to like learn how to shuffle. My mom and my parents didn't really think it was all that good music. My mom rather stick to her 80s hair metal bands, you know. So I can't really criticize things like mumble rap. It's just something I didn't grow into. So I can't discount it for saying it's terrible. People like things for, you know, whatever people like, you know, different strokes for different folks. And, you know, there's also a bunch of weird trends that end up in school. And I'm like, I think that schools might be the primary reason for growing into certain things, you know, because you're constantly surrounded by ideas that people are finding. Like, did you know in high school currently, because my little sister, she talks to me about, you know, things that are going on in high school. She told me that a bunch of people are doing this trend where they're sticker bombing their thermoses and water bottles and such, and they take it to school and they don't really wash their thermos because they're like, they want it to look cool with all these stickers. And I'm like, are you sure it's not just like one or two people? It's just like, I'm not even joking. Like if you go on Instagram, like you could see a bunch of people are like creatively decorating their bottles to bring to school. And I was like, are you serious?
That's
Cool.
old. Not the thermos thing, but I remember back when I was elementary school, we used to sticker bomb our folders. And I'm not gonna lie, I did it too. I actually went so overboard and sticker bombed my folders so hard that I actually got in trouble for going overboard with the stickers. And I had to take off some because like there was a phone number just in case if anything like that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember why the phone number of the school was there or something. I think it was like a phone number of my mom as well, something like that. And I put it over there, and the teacher was like, "What if something bad happens to you?" And he's like, "Just get rid of those." And I was like, "Okay."
What do you mean?
Yeah. So
If something
like,
bad happens, you want them to have those numbers.
yeah, no, I'm not saying get rid of the numbers. Get rid of the stickers that were covering the numbers. But the thing was, it was a folder, and the paper was slid in there, so I could have just slid the paper out. I don't know. I think my teacher more like got more angry because like all the kids were crowded around me, dude. I was the cool kid because I was flexing on everyone else because of how many stickers I had, dude. It's like a weird flex, but okay, kind of moment. But like,
you see that sticker? It cost me 50 cents.
Yeah, I bought them all at the 99-cent store too, so it didn't cost me that much. So I gave those kids a hard flex, so hard that the teacher had to step in, dude. He's like, this is a no flex zone, dude. You need a little bit less stickers. But yeah, back to the topic. That I feel like these trends repeat themselves. You know, like it's something new, but it's the same thing. You know?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I was also starting to think that, like, when you get out of high school and all that, you kind of taking yourself out of the scenario of being surrounded by all these ideas. So it's like school's like a giant melting pot of ideas and trends, and you know, it's crazy.
You better
do you
follow
think
the latest trends, or you're going to be irrelevant.
Yeah, I remember thinking about that the other day. I was just sitting there and I'm like, I wonder what the kids in high school are doing now. Like, what's their trend? Like, what's cool for them? Like, I'm sort of like, I still think dabbing is cool. Like, pretty much, like, what's the new trend? Like, I remember, do you guys remember rat tails?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I have one.
I remember them.
Stop. But like, I'm pretty sure like if I were to tell my mom or my sisters, they would have been like, "What is that?" You know, because they're not in high school anymore. They would have no idea. So I always wonder. I'm like, what are the high school middle school kids doing now? Like, I'm old now, dude. I'm only 19, but I don't know what they're doing anymore.
Yeah, so it's like we're on the outside looking in, and from that point of view, there's not much that we can do besides judge. It's not like we can interact. I mean, sure, you could possibly take these trends, you could possibly take all these things and bring it to your workplace, but that's not suitable. Like your workplace, it's something completely else, you know, compared to school.
Yeah.
Like I remember as a kid comparing school to work, except I didn't get paid anything besides a brighter future. But yeah, I know it was cheesy, but the thing is, we can't do much anymore with high school and the ideas that come into that. So, I mean, I feel like the only reason why we're like still up to date, sorta, about what's going on with trends is because we're still connected to the internet. And we're still very much entwined with the internet. Like you got Reddit, you got YouTube, you got all these things. So you may still have like a glimpse or an idea of what, you know, what's popular at the moment.
Yeah. That makes me feel old. I need to go online and look up what the trends are instead of experiencing them firsthand.
I'm pretty sure. Even in high school, I never followed trends, so I never.
I never.
Stuff.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I never like went along with them, but I always knew what the new trend was. Like I remember when, like, rat tails were cool. I remember when people would like to put their it was like snapbacks, and then like snapbacks became uncool, so they started putting them around their belt loop. So like they would have the snapback like on the side and stuff. Like I remember when like people would stop wearing belts and started wearing shoelaces for belts. Like there was all these like fads and stuff, and there's nothing necessarily wrong. It's just like I think fads are always going to be a thing. You know, like fads are a constant. You know, it's just what is the fad is going to change, but there's always going to be some sort of fad that kids are going to follow. And it's not. I mean, as long as it's not fucking dangerous, like a fad where like kids are start stabbing each other. You know, it's most fads are whatever. Like if you want to have a rat tail, go for it, dude. I ain't gonna stop you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like people just need to chill with the whole like my generation. It's like your generation wasn't any better. Like, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, we're the same or we're better. Like, it's okay to admit it.
And yeah, there's really not much that changes. It's just old people. They're not there to be able to experience it.
Yeah.
I know there's been many times where I'm like, oh man, I wish like my dad or my mom like grew up into like played with me like the certain video games that I played, that they grew up into this internet age that I grew up into, so I don't have to explain everything to them. But it's just different. We grew up different, but that's not necessarily wrong.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. And with that, make sure to check us out on Twitter at TConC 2018. You can interact with us there. We post things that we find interesting. Like earlier, I retweeted the tweet of Elon Musk saying that he's a cat girl and that he has a selfie of it and all, just jokes. And it's a great source to be updated on our shows and more to come.
Basically, a sneak peek at our next shows.
Yeah. Definitely.
Something like that. So, I like the smooth transition. So, I feel like we should give a little summary. Like we just wrote a 5-page essay, and we're gonna try. We had to try to summarize everything into one paragraph. So basically,
All
for
right.
me, Travs aren't gay in context. That's my summary.
Elon Musk is our Tony Stark.
The Oakland shooting was a very tragic event.
And your generation's not better than any other generation, nor is it any less than any older generation.
And well, with those final words, I've been Ricardo.
I am Eric.
I'm Jacob.
H, and we'll see you next time on the Contemplation Crew.
Thanks for watching, guys.
That's a cut.
Yeah.